Canada's restaurant industry is feeling anxious over the looming 25% tariffs from the United States, despite a delay of at least 30 days. Thomas Morana is the co-owner of Barvolo in Toronto. He's joining us with how these tariffs will affect his business. Good morning.
Morning, Anne-Marie. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, thanks for coming on. Listen, we know the Prime Minister is hosting a summit Friday in Toronto. They're going to be looking for solutions for Canadian businesses. What are your concerns overall with these looming tariffs, now less than 30 days away, potentially?
Well, good question. Initially, it was the lack of notice. It puts all levels of the supply chain in a panic. Over the weekend, we learned that all the American products were going to be pulled from the shelves. And on Monday, myself and probably a lot of bar owners were scrambling across the city to try to find bourbon for cocktail menus or California wine. Right. So initially, it was a little bit of a panic. And now that, it's been extended 30 days, I'm now sitting on a lot of bourbon that I have to pick up. Yeah.
Well, that leads me to my next question. If the tariffs come in place and there's this big push to buy Canada or buy Canadian, will you continue to serve U.S. alcohol in your restaurant?
I would. I mean, at our businesses, we've always supported local. We've always pushed to support local. Yeah. And I think what this does, it opens a discussion about other products that are available. I'm a bar owner and importer, and I would say it's easier to actually get American product than most Canadian products. And I think that this should have a positive effect on the government's decision to open up the borders a little bit and make it easier for Canadian producers to sell their beer and wine across the country without, provincial barriers and red tape.
Yeah, that's one of the things they're going to be looking at the summit on Friday. Listen, Thomas, obviously you serve more than alcohol in your restaurant. Yeah. So how would tariffs affect the food that you serve and other essential restaurant supplies that typically come up from the U.S.? And ultimately, how does that affect your bottom line?
I mean, it's hard to say at this point. I mean, for us, the majority of our products we do buy locally, so that's good. But I don't see how it's going to affect, other parts of the supply chain. So it's yet to be seen at this point. But I mean, right now, we're no strangers to increases of costs. I mean, the last couple of years, we've seen an increase of costs right across the board. So I think, it's going to be a challenge for most restaurants and people going out.
If those provincial retaliatory measures come back and U.S. alcohol is pulled from the shelves, meaning you wouldn't be able to restock because the LCBO would pull them, how does that affect your menu, your service to customers?
Yeah, I mean, what would happen is we'd have to obviously come up with new recipes, relook at all of our cocktails, relook at our offerings, and we'd have to source local. So I think there is a positive side to it. Rather than buying bourbon, we'd have to go with rye, and we'd have to explain to all our customers why, for instance, an old fashioned wouldn't be available. But I think it could have a positive spin to stimulate more restaurants to buy from Canadian producers.
Listen, Barvolo is a wonderful spot, and you survived COVID.
Thank you.
Can you survive a trade war?
I hope so. I think so. I think, small business owners in Canada are resilient. I think, we were put to the test through COVID. We survived an LCBO strike, and I think we can survive this.
All right, we are wishing you the best of luck. 28 days, 27 days, and counting. Barvolo co-owner Thomas Morana, thanks for joining us. Keep in touch with us. Let us know how things are going.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
If you liked that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.